Guys, stocks are down big, and a lot of people are pointing the finger at Trump. He just slapped a 50% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum, and now Canada is threatening to hit us back with its own tariffs. Investors are panicking, and people are wondering if this could turn into a full-blown trade war period, but what does all of this actually mean for your money, the economy, and the future of the stock market? Well guys, in case you're new around here, my name's Nima and welcome to the channel. I'm a corporate executive with over 15 years of experience in both sales and finance. My videos break down complex financial concepts to help you on your financial journey, whether you're just starting out or if you're already a seasoned pro. So guys, let me break down today's topic, which is why Trump's new tariffs just crashed the stock market. Alright, so guys, the stock market's been taking a hit and a lot of it has to do with Trump. Basically, he just dropped a bomb on new tariffs with Canadian steel and aluminum, 50% tariffs, which is pretty massive. Canada recently clapped back by threatening a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to states like New York and Michigan. Now, investors are freaking out because this could spiral into a full-blown trade war. Think about it. When countries start slapping tariffs on each other, it raises costs for businesses that rely on imports. That basically means that companies pay more, profits take a hit, and investors start selling their stocks. And that's why we see that the market has dipped hard. The S&P 500 dropped around 0.8% and the Dow lost nearly 500 points. And you know how investors are. Panic spreads like wildfire. But guys, here's the thing. Trump's argument is that these tariffs will help American industries by protecting them from foreign competition. He's basically saying that, yeah, it hurts now, but in the long term, we win. Now you might be wondering, well, what's the problem? Well guys, history shows that trade wars usually end up hurting consumers and businesses more than they actually help. Prices go up, supply chains get wrecked, and companies hold off on hiring or expanding because they don't know what's coming next. Plus, the market already had some pressure to begin with. There were recession fears, and people have been nervous about inflation in general. This just poured gas on the fire. If things keep escalating, we could see more sell-offs, especially in industries that depend on global trade. At the end of the day, the market hates uncertainty, and right now, nobody knows if this is just posturing or if it's about to get worse. If you're investing, it's probably a good idea to keep an eye on things as we progress, maybe stay diversified, and not make any panic moves. But yeah, that's why stocks are down. Trump threw a punch, Canada swung back, and now Wall Street's on edge. So yeah guys, let's break this down even further because there's honestly a lot that's happening here, and it's not just about Trump randomly deciding to slap tariffs on Canada. The stock market is reacting to something bigger, which is uncertainty. Investors don't like when things feel unpredictable. And right now, that's exactly what's happening. Every time Trump makes a sudden economic move, like a new tariff or a policy shift, it throws a wrench into the market. And it's not necessarily about whether the tariff is a good or bad idea in the long run. It's about the fact that the businesses and investors hate not knowing what's coming next. When things are stable, people invest more confidently. When there's chaos, they pull their money out and move to safer options like bonds or gold. So now, let me go ahead and talk about why tariffs specifically hit the market so hard. So, a 50% tariff on steel and aluminum from Canada doesn't just affect the companies that make steel. It affects every company that uses steel and aluminum. Think about auto manufacturers, construction companies, even companies making appliances. When those materials get more expensive, the costs go up. That means one of two things. Either they raise their prices for consumers, which fuels inflation again, or they eat the cost and see lower profits. But guys, none of these outcomes is good for the stock market. Lower profits mean lower stock prices, and inflation means the Federal Reserve might have to step in and raise interest rates, which again also hurts stocks. And let's not forget, this isn't just about Canada. The moment Trump went hard on tariffs, other countries started paying attention too. Investors are wondering if China, Europe, or Mexico could be next. Now, if more trade disputes pop up, things get even worse because international companies have supply chains that stretch all across multiple countries. Now, let's say a US company relies on parts from Canada, China, and Germany. If tariffs go up in all three of those places, their costs can explode, and suddenly they're not as profitable anymore. That uncertainty makes big investors very nervous, and when big investors sell, the entire market dips. Another thing to consider is that this kind of policy makes it harder for businesses to plan ahead. Now imagine you're running a major corporation, and one day you wake up and you find out that, oh my gosh, my cost just went up by 50% because of a new tariff. So what would you do as the CEO? Do you pass the cost on to your consumers, the people that buy from you? Do you delay your hiring process and not bring on more faculty to support your business? Or do you move your production overseas to dodge, the tariff? Whatever your answer might be, every company is scrambling to figure this out in real time. And that kind of instability makes the entire economy shaky. When CEOs don't know what's coming next, they hesitate to expand. And that hesitation can slow down economic growth. And look, this isn't the first time Trump's trade policies have shaken the market. If you remember back in 2018, when he hit China with tariffs, the stock market had wild swings. One day the Dow would drop 600 points, and then the next day it would bounce back because of a tweet saying negotiations were going well. It was a roller coaster to say the least, and all of that was driven by uncertainty. And, of course, the same thing is happening now. Investors don't know if this is just tough talk or if things will escalate into a larger economic battle. One of the biggest risks here is that if things get out of control, we could see retaliatory tariffs from other countries. Canada already hinted that they might fight back by increasing costs on US energy imports. If that happens, it's not just steel companies feeling the pain, it's going to be the oil companies, energy providers, and manufacturers that rely on cheap energy to keep costs low. The more this escalates, guys, the bigger the ripple effect. A trade war doesn't just stay in one sector, it spreads across the entire economy. Now, I should mention, another angle to consider is how this affects the average American. When tariff prices go up, prices go up. If a car company has to pay 50% more for steel, guess what? Your next car will even be more expensive. If companies are paying more for materials in general, they might cut jobs or even slow down hiring. And if inflation rises too fast, the Federal Reserve might step in with higher interest rates, which makes loans, mortgages, and credit cards more expensive. That's why, guys, the market reacts so strongly. This isn't just about big corporations losing money. It's about the entire economy feeling the squeeze. And to this point, let's talk about what this does to investor confidence. Right now, guys, the US economy is still doing well in many ways. Unemployment is low, corporate earnings have been fairly solid, and customer spending has been decent. But the stock market looks forward, not backward. Investors don't care about what's happening today. They care about what could be happening in 6 months from now. If they think that these tariffs are going to trigger an economic slowdown, then they'll start selling stocks right now before things get worse. And again, that's why you see these big dips in the market. It's a reaction to what could happen if this trade battle drags on. And then, of course, there's the political angle. We just finished our election year, and every move Trump makes has political consequences. Some investors might see these tariffs as a strategic move to rally his base, but others see it as a risky economic gamble. If the economy starts to weaken because of these policies, it could really hurt Trump's image. Or, on the flip side, if he plays it just right and negotiates a deal that removes these tariffs later, then the market could bounce back quickly and Trump would essentially be a hero. But again, guys, that's the problem. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, and the uncertainty kills the stock market. So, you might be wondering, Nima, what's the takeaway from all of this? Well, right now, guys, the market is down because of uncertainty. Investors are worried that these tariffs will lead to higher costs, lower profits, and a slower economy. If things escalate, we could see even more market drops in the near future. If Trump backs off or makes a deal, we could see a rebound potentially, but we have to see what Trump actually does. But for now, guys, volatility is here to stay, and that's why stocks are taking a big hit. So again, my recommendation is to sit tight and let's see how things progress in the next few months. This is why the markets are freaking out right now. Trump's tariffs are making businesses nervous, investors hate the uncertainty, and if this trade war keeps escalating, things could honestly get worse potentially. But again, I will remind you of the flip side. If he backs off or negotiates a deal, stocks could bounce back just as fast, but for now, all of this back and forth is really just making the market unstable. So again, my recommendation, if you're investing, just keep an eye out on things. Don't panic sell, but also don't ignore what's happening. Now guys, if you have your own opinions on how Trump's tariffs are affecting our paychecks, please don't hesitate, comment it down below to help our financial community. Also, if you took any value from this video, please don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more videos every single week. I'll catch you guys in the next video.